Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash, Barakathum. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. And peace and salutations to Ya'akim out there pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure until the end. Salakia. This is the brother Raya with another video, and this is going to be another video to show why you Edomites, or so-called white people, are the wicked of Job 9 and 24, and why not just the whole world, but especially the Most High and His Son, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, hate you Edomites, especially you American Edomites, because you promote just complete wickedness. You do everything you possibly can to go against the scriptures, as we'll see in this article on ZeroHedge.com titled, Grinnell launches Trump administration effort towards global decriminalization of homosexuality. And you can see why we always call you Edomites natural-born sodomites, because that's just been your spirit from the beginning. And you can especially see it with your history from Alexander the Great in Greece all the way up until now. And that's why America, which is biblically known as Babylon the Great, as well as a spiritual Sodom and Egypt, is going to be destroyed by 200 million nuclear missiles, as well as the laser beams from the chariot of the Most High, turning this place into the biblical lake of fire from sea to shining sea. But let's get into this article. U.S. Ambassador to Germany, Richard Grinnell, is spearheading a global campaign by the Trump administration to end the criminalization of homosexuality in dozens of nations where it is illegal to be gay, according to NBC News. News of the effort, which has reportedly been in the works for some time, comes after Iran made headlines for executing a gay man. And we got a picture of DJ Trump here holding up the LGBTQ flag, but I thought Trump was supposed to be trying to bring Bibles back into schools. That just goes to show the complete hypocrisy of you Edomites. And Trump's also administration supports people like this Grinnell guy who pushes for sodomite rights. Grinnell, America's highest profile openly gay official and favorite among Trump's base to replace Nikki Haley as UN ambassador, is kicking off the effort Tuesday evening in Berlin, as the U.S. Embassy is flying in European LGBT activists for a strategy dinner during which they will discuss efforts to decriminalize homosexuality. The campaign will be mostly concentrated in the Middle East, Africa, and the Caribbean, writes NBC News, which notes that the effort began before the UN job opened up. And that's just why this world hates you Edomites, because you don't stay in your own backyard. You don't stay in your own countries, Salakia. You think you know better than everybody, so you go around the country, go around to the countries in the world to push your agenda, which only leads to death. And it says as much in Habakkuk chapter 2, I'm going to read verse 4 through 5. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, you Edomites, that wicked. Just go to Psalms 58 and 3, where it says, the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go forth speaking lies as soon as they be born, but the just shall live by his faith. Yeah, also, because he transgresseth by his wine, which is referring to his philosophies such as democracy, feminism, and especially homosexuality. He is a proud man. Nobody can tell him anything. He knows better than all these other people. Neither keepeth at home, trying to go to all these countries around the world to push this homosexual agenda, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people, to try to bring forth that new world order, which is going to fail. We got a map here. Got a bigger image of it here, and look at that. Where the majority of you Edomites dwell is where homosexuality is decriminalized and promoted. But as you can see, the Russians aren't really rocking on that spirit, even though they're Edomites, because the Most High's put the spirit on them to not be for homosexuality at the moment, so they can be that spearhead to come against you American Edomites when they're going to shoot their nuclear missiles onto Babylon the Great. And not just is Russia going to shoot their nuclear missiles onto Babylon the Great, but Russia's allies such as China, North Korea, and Iran will as well. And also the US's allies, which are going to turn against it, such as Britain, France, Germany, Japan, and South Korea. It is concerning that in the 21st century, some 70 countries continue to have laws that criminalize LGBTI status or conduct, said a U.S. official involved in organizing the event. Although the decriminalization strategy is still being hashed out, officials say it's likely to include working with global organizations like the United Nations, the European Union, and the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe. And the EU, NATO, which the U.S. is a part of, makes up that beast whose wound was healed, as well as other countries whose laws already allow for gay rights. Other U.S. embassies and diplomatic posts throughout Europe, including the U.S. mission to the EU, are involved, as is the State Department's Bureau of Democracy, Human Rights, and Labor, narrowly focused on criminalization rather than broader LGBT issues like same-sex marriage. The campaign was conceived partly in response to the recent reported execution by hanging of a young gay man in Iran, the Trump administration's top geopolitical foe, says NBC News. And what business is it of the U.S. what other countries do? It's their right to do that. But as you remember in Habakkuk chapter 2, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, and transgresseth by his wine or his philosophies. Grinnell has been an outspoken critic of Iran, which executed a 31-year-old man who Iranian state-sponsored news agencies says kidnapped two 15-year-olds. And anybody in their right mind would agree that Iran did the right thing for this sodomite kidnapping two other 15-year-old boys. But not the U.S., who promotes homosexuality, lesbianism, transgenderism, and eventually pedophilia, because that's what they're really hearkening for. The Islamic Republic also executed a 16-year-old student in 2016 for what Amnesty International says was consensual gay sex. I'm going to skip this, jump down to here. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo is reportedly supporting the works by U.S. embassies and consulates to fight for the rights of LGBT people, saying during his confirmation hearing, "I deeply believe that LGBTQ persons have every right that every other person in the world would have." Grinnell discussed the global campaign over the weekend at the Munich Security Conference with a bipartisan congressional delegation, which includes Senator Lindsey Graham, Senator Chris Coons, and Representative Sheila Jackson Lee. While a student at Evangel University, a Christian liberal arts college in Missouri, I was taught by biblical scholars that all truth is God's truth, no matter where it is found. The truth for LGBT people is that we were born gay, which I'll agree with for you Edomites, the so-called white people, because it says as much in Daniel 11:37, neither shall he regard the power of his fathers, which you Edomites always like to say that America was built off Christian values, but yet you disregard the Bible. You do everything to go against it. Nor the desire for women, being a natural-born sodomite, nor regard any God, for he shall magnify himself above all, that wicked and that proud who is estranged from the womb, because you Edomites see yourselves as gods. That's why you push so hard for that evolution, that theory of evolution, to show that whole survival of the fittest thing, because if you can convince people that there is no God and that the law of the jungle rules, then naturally people would see you Edomites being on top with all your advanced technology as the apex predator, the god of this world. The truth for LGBT people is that we were born gay, wrote Grinnell and Build, people can disagree philosophically about homosexuality, but no person should ever be subject to criminal penalties because they are gay. But that goes completely against what the scriptures say, which says that if a man sleeps with man, or if a woman sleeps with woman, that they should be put to death.